because Dean Lindsay is here with us. You know, I put this one, my friend gave it to me. It is the symbol of universe. That means that we are connecting universe. Dallas, Russia, and all the world, all our audience from different countries be connected with Dean Lindsay. He is the author, award-winning business author. His books are translated in Chinese, Hindi, Polish, Spanish, Korean. And my question to you is, Dean, why you choose these languages? Why it is translated in this? Why, for example, it's not translated in French? Do you like more China and India and Korea? Who choose the languages to translate?
Well, you said, do I like them? I like those countries because there's the ones who would pay me for the rights to them. So yeah, those are the countries that that the book made its way to, and so that's the ones that it's been translated into so far. It's really been cool to get. I don't have them, right here to show you, but to get, your book, the Chinese edition, mailed to you and look at it. It's very trippy. But no, I'm honored that my books have been translated in those languages. But I would love for them to be translated into more languages.
That is wonderful. Let's do this. Let's hope for that, and let's work for this. My first question about these 6 pillars of progress. In your book, you said that we should be the progress. We shouldn't wait for the progress. Of course, it's nice to sit and think, oh, what good can happen to me? Who can help me? Who will make this progress? You recommend, no, you be the progress. What are these 6 pillars and how to be a progress, especially now in pandemic time when everything is so frightening and scary?
Wonderful question, Olga. Wonderful question. You touched on one thing. People can help you, but they're more likely to help you as you help them, which is the more progress you're being for them, the more progress they'll be for you. It's very similar to a classic American motivational speaker named Zig Ziglar. Is famous for saying you can get everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. So the more you help others, the more they help you. And what I did in my books, specifically Creating Progress in a World of Change and Big Fat Goals, is really lay out maybe a little bit deeper way of looking at it around that word progress, and that everything we do, when I say we, I mean the big humans, every human, everything we do, consciously or subconsciously, we do because we believe the perceived consequences. That's not necessarily the consequences we will get. Those are the consequences we think we're going to get. The consequences of taking those actions will be us feeling the unique right mixture of what I've labeled the 6 P's of progress: pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. So the more that we can understand, that we're going to progress as we help other people progress, we're going to feel more pleasure, peace of mind, prestige, pain avoidance, those things, the more we're offering other people those. And so it's interesting, Olga, that you talk about, during the pandemic, you even alluded to it, that it's all very frightening, right? Well, what do people want?
Very frightening.
Pain avoidance, peace of mind. Isn't that what's lacking? Right. So that means the more you can be that for other people, the more they're going to be ready to assist you in some way. And it's not saying it's tit for tat. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's that you're only doing it for those reasons. But back to that statement that from Zig Ziglar, you can get everything in life you want if you help other people get what they want. So it's kind of like the back scratch boogie. You're helping them and they're helping you, but it's what you're really helping them towards is a feeling. It's not a thing, right? Because if it was a thing, then everybody would have the same, goal. Some people want to go on a vacation, want to go golfing. Some people want to go on a roller coaster. Some people want to eat a chili dog. Some people, everybody's got their own thing that they think is progress. And that's another reason why, that's the reason why we need to get to know people. Because the more we get to know people, the more we can understand what progress means to them.
You mean that progress is different for every person? It's not that progress is the same word to everybody.
No, those 6 feelings I can guarantee you those are the feelings that everybody wants to get to, but how they individually get to those feelings is different.
How they get to these feelings. Yeah,
well,
their road is different.
Do you golf?
Yes,
I do
my
not.
daughter. You do not. My daughter she was the champion of Russia in golf, and she was the
Boom!
champion of United
Boom!
Arab Emirates in golf. Yeah.
So
So
you
we
going
should ask
golfing. So you
Anastasia.
going golfing
Yeah,
would be.
yes.
So you going golfing would be progress.
Uh,
You
when I go in golfing, yeah, it's you mean why I do that?
do you get pleasure?
Yes.
Uh-huh. See, I would not get any pleasure from golfing. I would get frustrated and throw my clubs and try to I'd claim I had hurt my back or something and try to get out of there. Yes, and so that's what I mean. It's different from different people. Right?
Maybe you play golf for money. That's why I know some people. I know some people
I
are
don't
very
golf at all. No,
frustrated.
but it's all about no. That's just specific. So that's the reason that it's not the same for everyone. Now that's the reason that I'm saying that everybody wants to progress, and what progress is, and I made it up. So I can't. I mean, I'm looking for anybody who wants to say something, to contradict it or question it. But what we view as progress are the things that we feel are going to help us feel the unique right mixture to us of pleasure, peace of mind, pain avoidance, prestige, power, and whatever the one I left out is.
Okay, pain avoidance. You mean it's security?
Could be anything. Anything
You
from
mean it's to be safe, yeah?
pain avoidance, guilt. Isn't guilt painful?
Of course it's painful.
Yeah, so it could be any yeah. So have you ever been guilted into doing something?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Right. Because yes, it was okay. Look, you can put it on a seesaw, right? You can put it on a seesaw. There was pain in doing it, but there was more pain, the guilt of not doing it. So in a sense, you went through a little bit of pain to avoid a bunch of pain.
Yes. Yes.
But it's still
I
pain
understand what
avoidance.
you're meaning. Yeah, pain avoidance. Yeah, it's
pain avoidance could be it's in the book, in that part of the book where I talk about pain avoidance. I think there's a big paragraph. I would read it for you, but it just talks about all the words we use for pain. There's so many different things. Shame, and that's before you even get into physical. Actually, your tummy hurting or something. But yeah, pain avoidance.
But you agree with me, Dean, that it's better sometimes to try. The biggest pain, if you want something, but you never try it because you're so much afraid to look stupid and silly, you are afraid that people will laugh at you, that they will not understand you, that maybe if you do something, you will ruin your reputation, that you know everything. That's why you just shut up. But it's terrible because you want to say something. I understand. My mistake was sometimes, in order not to hurt anybody, not to say. But if somebody in front of us is hurting other person and we are not saying anything, that is wrong, I think.
Yeah, right and wrong, I'm not talking about, I can't get into that. I mean, some people are going to see it as something they need to do and have to do. I'm not talking about what you should do or what you could do or what's right or wrong. I'm just talking about why you're going to do and why you did do.
This is wonderful.
So I don't know. I mean,
this is a progress. You're talking about progress. And
I am. Oh my goodness, I am. Have you ever seen somebody, ever watched somebody do something and you thought that was just the stupidest thing and you went, man, why did that person do that? That person had no reason to do that. There was no reason for that person to do that. Well, you know what, Olga? They had a reason. And you know how I know they had a reason?
How?
Because they did it.
I see.
Now, afterwards, they might have gone, oh, I didn't get the perceived consequences I was hoping to get. But in the nanosecond, in the second they did it for some unique mixture, the thought that they thought they were going to get, and something bubbled to the top of some unique mixture of those 6 P's of progress. And then they got the actual consequences. And then they, everything, jockeyed from there. We all do that.
We do that. And, I'm now reading about Stoic, Seneca. He is the philosopher of the Stoic, of the Roman. And they say that we should accept everything. We should accept everything because you cannot, and you should think how you perceive it and how you react, because you cannot change the weather. You cannot change pandemic. You cannot change, just you will become old and very angry and you will lose all your hair or something happen to you if you will behave in that way. So it's better to just accept it.
Yes, yeah, but so not easy to do, but so good to contemplate and relate to. I don't know that particular author, but the way he just rolled that out sounded very familiar with what I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's old Roman. It's centuries before. It's like
Oh yeah, it's an old
stories.
dude,
Yeah. It's
old
like
dude.
it's yeah. That's it. I will ask you the question that I didn't understand from you. Ah, no, one question that I understood and I laughed very much. You told in one of your interviews that it's very important to give for business people referrals. If you want, let's say, I will tell to other people, Dean Lindsay is amazing. Invite him as a host. Invite him as an author. He will make your company happy. He will make people happy. So referral is very important. And you mentioned that once upon a time, when you were moving from one house to another house, somebody broke your lamps. And you and your wife, you were very upset why they did it, this terrible, but they gave you the check and they even bought the new lamps. And that's why you referred them to everybody, even you asked them to move only because of that company. So tell me, please, these referrals, how we can use that in our work and in our businesses.
Well, referrals are really powerful, and it's really borrowed trust. The person that is referred to you doesn't trust you; they trust the person that referred them, and so it's really and trust is the real big emphasis here. And so the more that you can, and right back to the 6 P's of progress. What is a referral? Is that profit?
Of course, it will be profit
There
because
you
you
go.
will
Yeah,
get
profit. Is that pain avoidance that
profit
you don't
is
go
that.
have to? Pain avoidance that you don't have to go out and get the lead? Is it also
Yes, of
prestige
course,
of people talking good
definitely,
about you? So
definitely.
even if that referral doesn't land into an actual sale, it at least is good for the referrer, as long as you're referable. That you're really giving a referral to somebody that is going to be progress for the person you're referring. But no, referrals are a powerful way to build a priceless business relationship with your community. And it might not, it's not a tit for tat. It's not like I'm doing it only, now you got to do something for me, but it'll weave itself around, so yes, given referrals is a powerful way to strengthen relationships, professional relationships.
And I think in the time of pandemic, we will be more for these referrals because some people, they don't have money to do marketing. Some budgets, they shrink. And when we refer to each other, when we give these referrals, we actually help each other. We help ourselves and we help. So it's a very, very powerful tool. And I like how you describe that in the book. And I like how you laugh about that. But, it's very beautiful. My
Thank you,
question to you about the thing that I didn't understand. You said that you use the Viktor Frankl saying that harness the freedom of choice. Why do we need this?
Well, that's one of the Frankl's basic tenets: harness the freedom of choice. And it's really an awareness, that nobody causes our next step. These are choices that we're making, and that we are either we have the majority of the influence on our next step, or society. We're allowing society to play that role, but we have the freedom of choice. No one's making us. There's you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to eat. Are there people on our planet who have chosen not to eat?
Of course not.
No. Have there throughout the world, has there been people who've chosen not to eat?
You mean maybe some gurus, yeah, and then maybe some.
Did they choose not to eat? And what happened to them?
They died, of course.
They died. That's right.
Yes, they
You
died.
but you don't have to. You don't have to eat. These are choices we're making. You don't have to work. I said that to a group one time, that you don't have to work, and this guy said, "Well, you do if you don't want to live in a tent." And I said, "Are there people living in tents?" And he said, "Yes, there are people living in tents, but I don't want to live in a tent." And I said, "Exactly. These are choices. These are choices that we're making." So harnessing the freedom of choice. Now, you can look at that from an individual standpoint, but then you also got to understand that from everybody else's perspective. They have the freedom of choice as well. But we can inspire, influence, and persuade. There's nothing wrong with influence and persuasion, and that still comes down to knowing that person and learning about them, and then sharing your products and services, ideas, relationship with you individually in such a way that they see how it's going to help them feel some unique mixture of those 6 P's of progress. And then, so you are, yeah. So they
Yeah,
still
we
have
are
the freedom
coming
of
back
choice.
to that. You see, we are coming to these
It's all
6
the,
pillars of progress because it is such a powerful concept. Instead of feeling victim of everything that's going on, pandemic time, wearing the masks and all the things, you can choose a kind of proactive strategy.
yes, again, that is, I don't want to go Pollyanna on that. These are tough times, and we all are some form of, there's a little bit of victim. We've all been, smacked. So I don't think we can, try to just put on a happy face. But
Yeah,
I think you can, back to my seesaw, I think you can honor the fact that you got pain, but then try to stack the deck on the other side to still propel yourself into action. So I don't want to belittle the stuff that's going on, to
yeah,
where we don't, but we do have the freedom of what we choose to even focus on. You see, that also
mm,
plays. And what we can choose, and it's hard to do it all the time. I'm not saying it's that you do it all the time, right? But we can choose in each moment, in each second of each moment, we can choose to think of our next step and not what we thought we were going to be our next step or what happened in the past. We can choose it. It's harder to do. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but we still have that power. And that's Frankel. That's Frankel. Frankel's basically you can't control what happens to you, but you can control your reaction to it. You can control, and even I want to even say you should control, but sometimes we that's funny that I think about it like this. You are in control. It's just that what you are choosing to consider in that moment is only half the stuff. One of the quotes in Big Fat Goals of mine is your brain is a terrible thing to use against yourself. And
mhm.
we're all really good at that. In fact, worry is just a poor use of imagination.
Worry is just a poor use of imagination.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we are so good in imagining terrible things.
You're just
That is
making
the
it
worry.
up. Right.
So
So
we can also remove it. Yeah, we can
you
also,
could,
it can
well,
just
think about what
disappear.
else you could use your imagination for, right? I mean, there's all sorts of other choices of what you could choose to be thinking about. And again, I don't want to act like I'm some kind of whoa guru that I just live this way all the time. I mean, you're catching me at a good moment right now. But so I mean, what's life? So, but it is trippy to think about, and I roll with it just like everybody else. But we do have that power. We have the freedom of choice in our next movement, choice in our thoughts that lead to our next movement, choice in what we focus on, and then also honoring that other people do too. People are going to act favorably to us and in a way that we want them to, more likely want them to, that's beneficial for us, the more that they connect with how they're going to, and back to my vernacular, feel the 6 P's of progress.
Progress.
But that's all, it's everything. That's laughter, that's security, that's everything. Warmth. I mean, everything.
In your job, because you are more comedian and you are a person on the stage that lighten all the audience and make people happy and make people laugh. Now, when a lot of events are closed and you don't have this freedom of move and everything, what is this? What you took it for yourself? How you overcome that difficult time? What is your lesson of all of that?
Well, it has been tough. I do like getting out. I mean, I really enjoy these, interviews, to be able to talk about my stuff. And then I have, also, virtual keynotes, speaking virtually. But no, I love to. And if you watch those videos, I like to walk the stage
Yes,
and that
you are
type of.
born for this. This is your cup of tea.
Thank
You are
you
so
very
good
much.
in
No,
that.
I love it. To me, it's very. I mean, and that's not an easy thing too. I got it all in my, there was a few years where I got really in my head and I couldn't do it the way I'm doing it now. I really took it very seriously and took myself way too seriously and didn't have, I still had the lines, but I didn't have the what you're connecting with. And so I take it very, very seriously and very lightly at the same time.
I see. I see. We are coming back to a few things that I would like to know. So you said that you use this word taking responsibility for actions. So you mean that whatever we do, we are responsible for everything that we are doing. Yeah. You were quoting this one. Take responsibility for actions, drive actions by understanding.
Yeah, I mean, it's no fun to think about, you know. It's like we would much rather go, that made me do it, you know. And I'm not saying there's not some really, you know, stress. That there's some powerful stimuli that really strongly encourages, you know, our next step, especially from, you know, people that, you know, were part of our, you know, childhood, or, you know, our parents or our siblings or teachers. They can have both positive and, you know, negative. You know, ramifications on our, you know, what we think about our choices and who we're trying to emulate or prove stuff to. But in the end, it's us, and we do have the power of our next move. And with that, there's a, you know, you're in the driver's seat of your
Yeah.
life. And now, how firmly you have your hand on the steering wheel, that's connected to how firmly you understand that, you know, you're in the driver's seat. You're there. That's you.
That's you. You are not in the back. Nobody will drive you anywhere unless you will make this progress for yourself and for people.
That's good right there. What you just said. There's people that will help you go faster, and there's people that will help you get more in the right line. But they're going to be more likely to do that the more you're helping them get in line. So that goes right back again, you know, back to building those priceless business relationships by other people connecting with how you're assisting them with where they're going. You know, what is a goal? A goal is, you know, that why do we establish goals? We establish the goals that we establish are the ones that we think are going to help us feel those 6 P's. Those are the only goals we're going to be able to commit to.
And you said that all the goals we can achieve only by asking why, because more than goal, it's important what is behind the goal. What is this why that motivates you to the goal? Is that right?
I'm saying you not only should you know your why, but you can continually grow your why. But yes, we rarely forget about our goals. We forget about why our goals. So to stay committed to your goal, it's not about continually, you know, repeating what the goal is. It's continually strengthening why that's your goal, because there's so many other options of what you could do with your time. Other options that will bring you in the short term or even in the long term some unique mixture of those same 6 P's.
Absolutely, absolutely. As your last summary, what you will recommend to people who are the audience of Hidden Hero? Hidden Hero are the people who have a very big potential, but by some reason their potential is hidden. Maybe somebody is afraid, maybe somebody didn't meet such a great person as Dean Lindsay, who will recommend and inspire them. Maybe they live not in the right moment. They think how to make this fire out of the person, how make the hero not hidden. What you will advise to our audience?
Okay, all right. Well, I did have to do this because I mean, I said it earlier, you know, that I took a nice big, you know, mental, you know, funkified everything, you know, jack myself all up. Here's some of my tips for self optimization. So people might want to call it self-care, but I don't like that term self-care. That seems like something you're doing selfishly for yourself. Self-optimization. Who's going to benefit from your optimization? The world. The world's going to benefit from your self-optimization. I am not a robot. You, Olga, are not a robot. You're not a machine. I'm not a machine. There's certain things we need. We need rest. We need to get enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours sleep every night. We need to drink water, a whole bunch of water. We need to, I do some breathing exercises, taking long, deep breaths in and, you know, long breaths out. I started using essential oils in my breathing. I'm, smelling eucalyptus and peppermint. Stretching. I do have a pretty good regiment of stretching, and I'm starting here in the pandemic here at the house. We have weights and everything. And I'm making sure I'm lifting, and and lean protein, eating eggs and salmon and beans, and then on the other side, trying to really, if you can't stay totally away from alcohol and sugar, at least minimize them, and then honor the fact that the next morning the reason you don't have as much get up and go is because of the choices you made yesterday. So sometimes the reason that we're hidden is because we're not bringing our optimized, I shouldn't say sometimes, often, most of the time, is because we're not bringing our optimized self. One of the main things, any of those videos you watched of me speaking, what I was doing the 15 minutes before I was speaking was not me sitting in a chair or waiting to, eating some free, chicken, chicken breast and some asparagus, and some little rice. I was in the back of the room or behind the stage stretching and warming up and, doing some vocal exercises. And because, try to bring it. So bring it, So just, and I'm not saying it has to be something you do theatrical for anybody else, but get it on, get going. That it's, and the way that came to me, and I'm going to talk about Baryshnikov, Mikhail
Yes.
Baryshnikov.
Mikhail Baryshnikov, he's amazing. He's a legend.
Yes.
He's a legend.
He was notorious for his amazing pre warm up, his stretching he does. I was an actor for a while and got to do some big auditions for some big movies, and I could always tell, because we'd usually do it in an office place and you never knew which kind of hallway to go down. Yeah. And I could always tell which hallway it was the audition, because outside would be all these actors stretching like they were, going to go in and try to compete against Baryshnikov. Now, when they got in to the audition, nobody was doing dance moves. They were hitting their mark and standing and delivering. But to prepare for that standing and delivering, they were doing as right up there with Baryshnikov as far as, getting themselves limber your mind, limber your body, and that's all that. Really, everything. I never used the word limber before, but that's what all this comes down to. All this is about you being limber. That's what people get hard up to, is I'm this, I am that. Well, if you can be limber, mentally limber, physically limber, then you start seeing more options, more plays, more things you can do. Limber in the way to get more limber in society is to have more relationships. That gives you more play. And then the more people then, oh yeah, I know that person, and this person can introduce that. Now I'm more, limber in people's minds. People see me as flexible and somebody they want in the loop. Let's get Dean involved in that. So all those things. So I think that to unlock the hidden hero that we all have, choose to self-optimize.
This is so beautifully said, and I feel that somehow you stretch the mind. It's not that you should be in the box. You stretch the mind, you prepare for different opportunities, you stretch your network, you stretch your life. So you are ready for many options. You are more prepared, and you are more prepared to help others. In a way, it's not that that's what they're doing. That's why you mentioned Baryshnikov and all these great actors who were preparing, because they want to, but really when they do it, when they just explored. That's why
I thought he was pretty good. I thought Baryshnikov was a pretty good actor too.
Definitely.
That's stretching.
That's why people still, that's stretching.
He's limber. He was limber. I thought he was a cool guy, much more than just the dancing stuff. I liked his vibe.
Absolutely. So, Dean, thank you so much for stretching our mind, for giving us so very deep thoughts, very deep thoughts. Our talk today was more serious, but it was more tender. And I think we need a combination of both, of fun and of reaching people's heart, and of thinking and helping each other, and enriching ourselves with different views, and stretch ourselves, And what you're doing, it's really great. Thank you so much. I like to watch all these videos. They make me laugh. And sometimes I laugh the whole day after that. I was so happy to see you, Dean Lindsay.